Hey guys, this is J Star Wars 360 here with my thoughts going into Divergent. The film is coming out this weekend. I figured, you know what, I might as well give how I think the movie's going to turn out, both critically and financially. But before I go that, I'm just going to briefly summarize my thoughts on the book if you want more in depth. I already did a video where I really went into great detail about what I thought of Divergent. Book was alright, really liked the concepts and ideas, not so much the execution. 4 was interesting, but that was about it, and a not so interesting romance. So how's this film going to turn out? Well, here's the thing. Whenever I watch a film, I'm always more looking at it as how well did they adapt the story to film versus how the film was. So as far as adaptation goes, I'm going to double check right now, but I'm pretty sure the film is 2.5 hours long. So that's more than enough time to get most of the story, most of what they need to get in. And yep, it's hang on, it's 2.5 hours. That's plenty of time to get everything you need to get in regarding the film. The books, I mean, they're probably going to cut stuff out, but I don't think will be that major a rush over. And even so, if they do, it won't bother me that much since I always felt like there was just way too much of Beatrice in her training. I don't think it'll be a great film, though, because I wasn't too big on the original story. It was interesting, but I never found it really great. But I think it'll do a decent job adapting. It might just be a bit dull. Content might just feel a bit dull or a bit like a Hunger Games ripoff. And also, this always happens when I'm watching film adaptations of books, but moments in the film aren't the way I pictured them when I was reading them in the book. Or in some cases, they'll just gloss over something that the book spent a lot of detail on. That happens a lot. Like Ender's Game is a recent example of a book that did that. And no, I haven't seen Catching Fire yet. I want to, though. It's out on DVD now. I probably should. But yeah, Ender's Game is an example of one that needed a lot more time. But I don't think this movie should have a problem. Because this movie's actually 2.5 hours, whereas Ender's Game was just an hour and a half. I'm worried when I'm watching Divergent, I'll feel like I'm watching a Hunger Games ripoff. I mean, I know the books are similar, but I feel like the similarities are going to be even more obvious when we're watching a movie. And people are probably going to make comparisons and jokes. Now, I don't remember the names of the directors and writers working on this film. Look them up on IMDb if you want. But I looked at what the director of this film has done. He hasn't done anything I've seen. Same goes for the writer, although I am familiar with the stuff they've done. One of the writers worked on Snow White and the Huntsman, which looked really stupid in my opinion, although some people said it wasn't that bad. And then there's the upcoming live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which looks really stupid. And then another one of the writers did a few things, one of which was Game of Thrones, which I keep hearing really good things about, but haven't seen. I probably should. I actually have the book, and I'm probably going to hopefully start reading at some point, unless I get a lot of reading for college. But I digress. So someone has something credible under the belt, but again, and does have experience translating a book to film. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. But at the same time, Game of Thrones, from what I understand, is a really good story, whereas Divergent's sort of an ass story. So I don't know how much they can do to really make the source material any good. Financially, I think this film is going to do all right. I mean, this book doesn't have quite the following that Hunger Games does, and in all honesty, a lot of people are probably just going to look at this and go, this just looks like a Hunger Games ripoff. But there's a following. There are a bunch of people who have read the books who are probably looking forward to the movie. There's probably people who've read the books now that the movie's announced. I found out about it because of the movie. And again, there's probably a good amount of following there's probably a good amount of people who are going to go see this movie, especially considering it's March and there isn't that much out. Although there is the Muppets movie and there is 300. And we do have Captain America coming out in a couple weeks, which looks pretty good. And I'm trying to think what was. And also, they've already have plans to do like the other 2 books. Like they already have release dates and everything. So obviously the studio is confident that this is going to sell. And if you want my honest opinion, here's how much I think it's going to make. I think it'll probably make around 100 million domestically. I think so. It'll do all right. At least in total, it'll probably make around 300 million. It might go up to 500 million. I would be surprised if it went past that, because again, this isn't as big as Hunger Games. Yeah. So another question you should ask is, will I go see it? Well, because the thing is, when I do my thoughts going into videos, it's either a movie that I have interest in seeing, or it's a really big movie that I just want to give you my 2 cents on. Maybe. Because, again, I'm not too big a fan of the books. Again, like, this one looks and again, if film adaptations of books always usually disappoint me. There are a couple exceptions, like the first couple Harry Potters, not Ender's Game, that disappointed me. Lord of the Rings, and the first Hunger Games movie, which I thought was good. Sorry if I'm straining my voice or whatever. I have no clue what's wrong. Maybe it's probably because I just ate. So, where was I? Oh yeah. So, I may or may not see it. I don't know. I will see it eventually. It's just a matter of whether or not I want to rush out in theaters and watch it now, or if I'm just going to wait until it comes out on DVD. Because the thing is that there's 2 other movies right now that are coming out. Well, one is coming out, like, I think it's coming out the same day as Divergent, which I'm going to do a video on, like, right after this, which is Muppets Most Wanted. And then there is Grand Budapest Hotel, which at some point I hope expands to my local theater, because Grand Budapest Hotel looks amazing. So I'm holding on to my money for that. So it's just a matter of whether or not, one, if I feel like going to see a movie, and 2, which of these 3 movies has me the most interested, which is Grand Budapest Hotel. But again, we'll have to wait and see if that actually comes out near me. And yeah, and then there's the Muppets also, which again I'm going to do a video on right after this. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Yeah, not too big on movie, but might probably check it out at some point. I think it'll do all right, and may or may not go see it in theaters. So yeah, this is J Star Wars 360 here, signing out. Have a good day.